Very warm welcome. It's Gene from Avstar. Guys, you're on YouTube that are listening to this right now. You have an opportunity, whether you want to get behind an observatory that wants to support you guys in giving you information on the latest magnetic North Pole position or not. It's entirely up to you. I'll leave it one more day. Let's see if we can encourage a few people to use those links in the description. But moving on, Scott Ritter has been raided. He's had all his electronics and paperwork removed from his property by the FBI on the basis of the FAR Act. You can look it up. Basically, the FAR Act is, against people that work for foreign organisations and interests, and that's what they've issued the warrant against him on. But it doesn't matter whether he's guilty or not. The fact that the FBI have gone in there and done this and made it public is all that needs to be done to destroy him, because he won't recover from this. He's got no way of recovering, even though we're all behind him. It is the allegation of doing something wrong in front of the millions of people around the world. They will all think right now that Scott Ritter is guilty of the crime because the FBI, because they trust, a lot of these stupid people trust their government and their decisions, and they think, well, if an organisation like the FBI are going to raid, then they're not going to raid on false pretenses. But that, if you look into this case, is exactly what they've done. But it's not the fact whether he's guilty or not guilty. The fact that he has been accused will be enough to ruin him, because he can spend now the rest of his days saying, I've done nothing wrong. But the fact that the FBI went in there and removed all this stuff says he did. And okay, if you look at the FAR Act, how can you be proven guilty on that? Well, one way is if you've been seen taking money off foreign entities, foreign countries for services, then you're guilty. He's admitted that he has received, let's say, things from news media outlets like RT that have been banned, and there's nothing wrong with that, because he's provided, material, information, which is not given away, top secrets or of any of the kind. He's just given away, material that he has created, just like a book writer would in a book. The information that would be in the book would be given away in the book. It's all he's done. So, it's 100% obvious he's not guilty in this act, but it doesn't change the fact that all the media outlets now have picked up on a very popular personality on social media that talks about, in another standpoint, issues like what's going on in Israel, Palestine, what's going on in Ukraine, all around the military aspects of these things. Now remember, Scott Ritter is, if I'm right in saying, was one of the weapon inspectors that went into Iraq and came back and told the government there was no weapons of mass destruction there. So you can understand, when he is talking to foreign entities, he's working with banned networks, how his country, special agents like the FBI and whatever, are going to interpret his actions. And of course they have executed this warrant to search and retain for further investigation, specific materials. And we all saw them removing box load after box load after box load of paperwork, computers, communication devices, you name it. And the thing is before they do these things, they sit down in a meeting and they say, what have we got so far, and is it enough to push it to the next level? And obviously, legally, whether the law is being utilised as a weapon or not, legally they have gone in and executed the warrant. You know, a judge would never give him a warrant otherwise. And they've gone in, seized, you know, his literature, his computer assets, his communication assets, and a lot of other things. And the thing is, from this point on out, is he has been already convicted and found guilty. And that's the way these departments work now. They do a lot of reconnaissance on their person that they're targeting. We've seen it with Alex Jones. Let's fine him £1 billion. You know, it's like Alex Jones said, you know what, you could have shot me once, it would have killed me, but why shoot me another 10 times in the head? Because it just kills me another 10 times. You know, that's exactly how our governments around the world right now are acting, and that's why people like Scott Ritter are, you know, sacrificing his time and effort to open up people's minds. That's why Alex Jones, you can knock him for everything you want, but Alex Jones has been right on a lot of things. So, you know, there are a lot of people sacrificing a hell of a lot of things, you know, having the money taken away from him, like Tommy Robson right now. I know it's not his real name, it's Stephen Lemon or something like that, but, you know, that guy has, you know, sacrificed years in prison to get the truth out to people about what is going on. That's why Britain at the moment is, you know, on the receiving end right now of riots every night. And it's been the case for the last 7 days. You know, the governments are clearly not listening to the people. You know, most of us just want peace. You know, we want to live together. We want to have, you know, a recognisable integration. And we want to, you know, respect each other's, you know, differences and live together. But, you know, the government's agendas change on whatever reason. And, you know, for me, you know, if you ask me what it's all about, it's all down to money and wealth and gains. You know, that's what leads people to be corrupt. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. And that's what a lot of us are upset about, because we see it day in, day out. And no justice is ever getting served on these people. There are clearly a two-tier system in place that the average Joe commits a crime, ends up in jail, but your elitist commits a crime and ends up being rewarded with a Nobel Prize. Like Nobel Peace Prize winner Barack Obama. Let me tell you something disgusting about this person, because me having a conscience, I could never accept a Nobel Prize on the same circumstances as what he did, because he was nominated against somebody that is no longer alive now, but in respect of what she did in the Second World War, he still took the Nobel Prize. Now, if it had been me and I'd have been awarded it, I would have given it over to this person, because what she did in her little toolbox was smuggle Jewish children out of a death camp in her toolbox wheelbarrow, and she managed to save, I guess, around 30-40 people's lives, and at the risk of being caught and shot dead. But Barack Obama, for whatever reason he was nominated as a Peace Prize winner, he still took it, knowing that the nominees for that same Peace Prize he has were far better to be received and respected for and deserved of that Peace Prize. You know, these are the stories that your mainstream media won't ever talk about. They will never talk about that. That Nobel Peace Prize that Barack Obama has right now is wrongfully issued, and he knows it, but he doesn't have a conscience. You know, when we talk about Barack Obama, he's the first person that used drones to kill American people that were not found guilty beforehand. You know, the things that people don't know about are the things that keep them hoodwinked and blinkered and blind to the truth. This is the world that we live in, and this is the persecution example of Scott Ritter that we see, you know, over and over again. Julian Assange being destroyed for releasing the truth and the criminal activity of the American military assets in Iraq and what they did. You know, if you commit a crime and you wrongfully do it, you should be punished for that. But we live in a world where, you know, it is two separate systems. And this is really what is sparking what is going on right now in the UK. People have had enough. It's not just here in England. This is happening in Scotland. This is happening in Wales. This is happening in Northern Ireland. People have clearly had enough of what is taking place, and they don't want to accept any more of it. And they want, more than anything, their governments to listen, but more so act. What's happening to Scott Ritter right now is nothing short of criminal injustice and an abuse of the judicial system in the United States. They are weaponising the judicial system to shut people up. And you know what we need? We need 2,000 more people like Scott Ritter, because he's an advocate of peace. He wants peace, and he is doing it the honest way. And yes, by all means, if you read any of the comments on these videos, he is a hero of the people, and people need to get behind him. And that's all I've got to say on the matter, guys. I will do the latest position on the magnetic North Pole tomorrow. If you know I see a little bit of activity, I just want to see a few people stand up for each other on this channel. That's all. You know, the link's down there in the description. You know, you need to start getting behind us now. People that are prepared to stick their neck on the line for you guys, in order that so you get, you know, the information you need to make a balanced decision on what is right and what is wrong. Because right now, the mainstream media that are funded by the world governments are ramming nonsense down your necks at an appalling rate, and criminals are going unchecked and undisciplined, and our judicial system is being dragged through the dirt globally. I'll say what I usually do. You take care. You know, Scott, I don't think you or suppose that you'll ever get to listen to this video, but you know what? You know, God be with you and your family, and justice prevail is all I can say. Those that fight the righteous battle always succeed, and light always overcomes darkness. As always, bye for now.